Mobs. We know they're there, but we pay more attention to the bosses. The only time we focus on their presence is when we're dying to their stupid attacks. I am back for another Cuphead ranking. I'll be ranking these mobs under the difficulty they pose. S-tier clarifies the most difficulty. These are the mobs that might as well be impossible not to lose a heart to. And S-tier is for the mobs that assist you or even aid you in your journey, or even if they don't do any damage at all. With that out of the way, shall we? Cuphead mob tier list. Let's go! Number 1, worm. It's a worm that can be parried because it's pink, just like the last video. Primarily, this mob is only parryable and used to get you familiar with parrying in boss battles. Doesn't really pose much of a threat. A-tier. Number 2, Beyblade Let It Rip Fucking Run It! Horace Radish. I don't know why bro tries so hard with the fancy name, because he looks one Adderall away from a fucking coma the way he's acting. Horace appears as a punishment for being too nice and not murdering a crying onion. Oh lord, what a crime. Following his appearance, he tries to be the biggest Tasmanian devil stan by spinning as much as he can, whizzing across the bottom, trying to catch you off guard while you were fighting Chauncey. It's fairly difficult, but predictable enough to not be the worst thing in the world. B-tier.
You would not believe your eyes. The frogs, they make fireflies. They're easy to defeat, but don't provide much use.
No, they don't.
They fly in a straight ass line. The mob's fire shines so bright. His wings buzz and flap him with his back. It lights up the night. Yeah, really. I'd like to rank this mobby because it's so fucking easy.
There's a lot more where that came from, Scabs. Hooray! Number 4, Blimpy. Hildeberg's little tedious minions. You have 3 different types of this mob. You have the standard blimp that shoots a single bullet towards you, the green burst blimp that shoots a spread of bullets towards you, and then Blimpy, who's such a precious little blimp. Little blimp. He shoots a little parryable bullet towards you, giving you a helping hand. We love Blimpy. This mob is fairly easy to avoid and predict, which is expected in these first stages of bosses, but that doesn't mean it can't catch me off guard every now and then. But overall, not too bad.
No. I can't have the inaccuracies. You're so wrong. It's not a blimp. It's a zeppelin. A
Yeah? And stay down! B-tier. Number 5, Baby Tufi Terror. I'm not gonna lie, these little chompers are usually dead before I can notice they're there. There are 3 different seeds for each Tufi Terror. The purple seed spawns a Tufi Terror at the bottom, used as a trap for players who are unaware going down to the bottom. But in reality, you rarely go to the bottom, unless you're dodging Cagney's attacks, and by then the Tufi Terror is probably dead anyway. A blue seed spawns a Tufi Terror that is airborne, which homes instantly into you, but again, doesn't take much to kill it. For new players, I would say these mobs pose some form of challenge, but for me, the great Colonel Scarface, the big Cuphead master, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to sound like a nerd, but I sound like some sort of mafia boss. Me, the great Colonel Scarface, you know what I'm saying? I did the shot challenge, you know what I mean? Now I sound like I'm from Boston. I give up. A-tier. Number 6, Tufi Terror Floater. Finally, the parryable pink seed, if not parried, spawns a Tufi Terror Floater, which stays in its shell as it spawns, before opening up and raining hell. Now this one is the most difficult of the Tufi Terrors by far, as it's not only hovering just above your head, and by one jump away you get a death or a heart loss, it also shoots parryable bullets at you. Even if you do parry the bullets, you're probably putting yourself into a trap. The best thing to do for this mob is to kill it as quickly as possible because it provides no use! Fuck this mob! D-tier. Number 7, Sycamore Boomerang, or coined in the wiki as Boomerang Thingy. Boomerang Thingy. I don't know if you know this, but you can duck them if you're in line with them. And these little guys, even when I was new, didn't really cause me any problems. But they still cause damage if they hit, so I'm just going to have to put it A tier, but you know, it's not much of a problem. Number 8. Deadly Daisies. This mini cadney type mob is the first thing that greets you when you start your first run and gun, and depending on where you start, it could be the first ever mob that you encounter. Deadly Daisies spawn off screen and follow you around. They're fairly tall and appear in a lot of choke points. Fortunately, these mobs only have one hit point and are fairly easy to kill. And once you've played Forest Follies enough times, you can sort of predict where their movements are. For example, a Deadly Daisy will stop in its tracks before it jumps, which allows for a useful advantage. You know, a pro like me would know that, you know. B tier. Number 9. Murderous Mushroom. This one can be pretty useful at times, especially if you're trying a pacifist run and there's no butterflies about. You know, you can use its parryable puff to get over the Acorn machine, for example, if you watched my pacifist video. You know, I'll put a little link in the corner there so you can watch it after this video, you know? Check it out. Check it out, please. Please check it out. Or I'll fucking kill you. The Murderous Mushroom cannot be hurt when hiding in their caps, so you have to wait for them to show their faces to attack them. This mob has 2 hit points, and it's quite easy to predict. It has uses for the level, and doesn't cause much issues. B tier. Number 10. Terrible Tulip. This one's caught me off guard and killed me so many times. The placement of this mob is crazy, and it's like a silent sniper hiding in plain sight, waiting for an unwary cup to come under and fall into his pellet trap. The Tulip has 4 hit points, which makes it a pretty hefty mob to deal with, and you're best not hanging around and just avoid it as quickly as possible. A tier. Number 11. Bothersome Blueberry. This is a blueberry. This thing's a blueberry. I thought it was a slime. Does that mean that Goopy Legrand is a massive fucking blueberry? Because come on. Okay, so we're in the editing studio right now. I'm going to show you how similar he looks, right? So if I get a little eraser tool, little nifty eraser tool, get rid of the legs, okay? So we'll just get rid of the legs, and then get rid of the arms. Yep. And what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna capture the color here, paint over it, not there. Yeah. Then you go black. Up to black. There we go. Then you do the same here. Black here. Blue there. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. Look at that fucking thing, right? I can go even further, okay? So if I bring it bigger and bigger, and I go, say let's remove the smirk off his face. So we go boom, 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 boom. Get rid of that. Gone. Okay. It's not gonna look perfect, mind you, but you know, you're gonna get my point. So we're gonna put this up here. And what's Goopy got? Smile. Okay, cool. So we go here. Shorten the brush a bit, and we go that, and like that. Add the little there. Simple. So easy. I think I've made my point. The bothersome blueberries will run around on a single platform back and forth like Mo Farah on the 100-meter dash. When you hit the blueberry, he doesn't die but turns into a blue goop with no hitbox that will recover back to his original shape in a few seconds. This mob is quite easy once you have the right angle on it, but it may appear difficult to new players. I'm going to say that a lot because I'm a Cuphead pro! B tier. Number 12. Tufi Terror. Tufi terrors are the bigger, much chompier foes, which provide a resemblance to the munchers, which is a small subspecies of the piranha plant from Super Mario. Little fun factoid for you there. Similar to Tufi terrors, munchers are unable to be defeated. The Tufi Terror covers the pits towards the end of Forest Follies to provide a final challenge to the player. They are super easy to predict once you've played the level enough, but they're a nice addition towards the end of the fight, providing a different type of challenge. S-tier. Number 13. Aggravating Acorn. The name of this mob is very fitting because it's super fucking aggravating! Similar to the barrel in the Brinybeard fight, the acorn follows at the top of the screen and drops down when you go under it. The acorns appear as you're getting close to the acorn maker, indicating that you're halfway through the level. They like to catch you in the worst fucking places, like just after a jump or while you're fighting the acorn machine. S-tier. Number 14. The Acorn Maker. Operated by a deadly daisy, this hefty machine blocks the path towards the end of the level. It acts as the first sort of mini-boss you will see in the run and gun levels. This machine cranks out the aggravating acorns and remains static. You cannot get past them unless you parry past it or defeat it. S-tier. Number 15. Bouncing Beetle. See, this mob is called a bouncing beetle, but in the Cuphead wiki it says it's a ladybug? So is it a beetle or is it a ladybug?
Can we specify, please?
The bouncing beetle does what it says in the name, files your tax returns and makes you dinner when you get home. It bounces, obviously. They make their appearance in the first of the Treetop Trouble, rolling down the tree and bouncing in a synchronized fashion. If you work out the method of these patterns, they're fairly easy to deal with and don't pose much threat. But if you mindlessly dash and jump, you're gonna get nowhere. You need a method for the madness, okay? There's a parryable version of the beetle that you need to use to get your first coin on the map, unless the butterfly blesses you with its presence, or you get really lucky on that lucky jump that I demonstrate here. That really lucky jump that I demonstrate here. That really lucky jump that I demonstrate that I fucking... S-tier. Number 16. Woodpecker. No fancy name like Wandering Woodpecker or Wanker Woodpecker. Just Woodpecker. Okay. This mob acts like the barrier in progressing the stage. It takes no damage and the only way to defeat the mob is to outsmart them at his own game by sneaking past. Bro is working overtime on the tree and isn't stopping with you getting in the way. The woodpecker design nods at similarities between Woody Woodpecker, the old Walter Lantz cartoon character, which I thought was a nice little detail. Overall, not really much to say about this mob, doesn't provide much use, the placement is nice and it can pose some form of difficulty if you don't focus on its movements. S-tier. Number 17. Stack o' Wood. If Cuphead had a fire shot that did burning damage, the first mob I would relentlessly test it on are these fucking cunts!
Well, that's just not true, is it?
Oh god, not a fucking another one.
I'm a certified
What do you
Cuphead
want?
legend, and there's
Didn't
a
ask,
fire
mate.
shot on
Didn't
Cuphead,
fucking
you
ask.
absolute idiot.
Why are you on
It's
my
called
video? The stack of wood has got to be the worst addition to the Treetop Trouble level. Why? It sounds like a tongue twister. Treetop Trouble. Okay. This mob comes in 3, 4, and 5 stacks that are all a fucking nuisance. The stack of wood is placed on each individual platform as you're going up to the tree. They fire spiky balls at you that are more than likely to steal a heart when you least expect it, unless it's a parryable that you can parry. When shot, this mob starts breaking down its stacks until it's reduced to nothing. But it's fucking pointless trying to fully kill these things, as you have the stupid bee there also causing a nuisance, and you're better off just dashing and taking the heart loss, mate, I'll be honest. Stupid mob. S-tier. Number 18. Flying Beetle. Scrap that, it's not a bee, it's a beetle. I was waiting to use that one. Yeah! I know! Beetle! Get it? They love me. I'm here all night. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Tip your bar staff. Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks, guys. The flying beetle appears during the section where you're going up the tree, and they're a hindrance to say the least. It's not really about the amount of health they have. It's more how they fly and the way they fly. Makes it so easy to mindlessly bump into them. When I was a Cuphead noob, not to say that I'm a pro. Well, I am a pro, obviously. I was always fucking dying to this prick, and as a result of past trauma and current trauma, Nobody's perfect, okay? I'm gonna have to say S-tier. Number 19, mosquito. See, I don't really like mosquitoes at all in the real world because, you know, they're blood-sucking leeches. But these mosquitoes I can get down with. They must be lifting at the gym to support Cuphead's weight though, man. Jeez, move over, Eddie Hall. We've got mosquito. I can't be stopped! This mob needs to be used to progress further into the level. The only problem is that when you step on the mosquito, it accepts his fate, as Dragonfly presumably takes them out for helping you. Don't worry, Mosquito Bro. I'll remember you. S-tier. Number 20, Dragonfly. Again, Moldenhauer. Not even Dashing Dragonfly or Daring Dragonfly. Spice up the names, man. The Dragonfly is the final mini-boss of Isle 1, and the easiest boss to avoid, a true flex for the pacifist runners. Whenever they see that dash past the Dragonfly, all the women begin to charge in my direction. However, if you are taking him head on like you don't know the skip, then his fight is quite tricky, especially if you aren't familiar with the platforms yet. His primary attack is to shoot fireballs at you that get rid of the platforms in the direction the fireball is going. This could be 1 or even 3 platforms disappearing depending on RNG. The key is just to hold on firing and hope for that elimination. B-tier. Number 21, Whippet Cream Pup. Whippet Cream Pup is the big cake castle which looks like it would be a highlight in a Cuphead themed birthday party. I'm just saying, you know? Someone make it happen, and if someone does make it happen, send me a picture on the Discord, because that would be so sick. Whippet Cream Pup doesn't do much but be a vessel for Baroness's deeds, opening his candy cane gates to let out the mini-bosses and jelly bullies to play, charging at you in the second phase. Surprisingly, even though Cream Pup is pink, it is not parryable, and I'm sure you've tried to justify that many times, but it's just not true.
It's not true. It's not true.
Regardless, this mob covers the right side of the screen and puts a massive hitbox area for you to avoid. And then at the final phase, it acts like a moving platformer, forcing you to keep on moving to avoid Cream Pup's wrath. It's not too hard, but joined with Baroness's head and pasty menthol, it calls for a chaotic mix. But Whippet, not so much. A-tier. Number 22, Jelly Bully. I didn't know what they were called, but it's so fitting because they just don't need to be here. They're just bullies for no reason. The jelly bullies appear after the first rotation is defeated, appearing at when it feels like random moments to trap you as you're focusing on the boss. An equivalent of killing someone on Call of Duty while they're mid-battle. Like, have some courtesy. They also have a parryable version of the jelly bean, but don't bother, mate, it's pointless. There's no point. Just get out of the way of it and kill it as soon as possible. D-tier. Number 23, Pasty Menthol. Bro's trying to get away from Baroness, and he's helping you in the process. Pasty is only parryable, so he provides use by being that, and is very useful for building your special in the final battle of the Baroness fight. However, it can't be completely helpful, as it has a hitbox, and if you fail to parry it, you could lose a heart or die. As a parry, S, sure, if it was ranked for usefulness. But as a mob, in terms of difficulty, A-tier. Number 24, Target Ducks. Onto the Carnival, we have these tedious little quackers. The target ducks appear in the first phase of Beppy's and never make an appearance again. Thank God. In the fight, they traverse on the top of the screen, bopping up and down and occasionally dropping a light bulb, which I feel has no relevance at all.
It's not relevant, is it?
There's a parryable version of the target ducks that act like a guide to help pass Beppy, which is helpful if you don't have smoke dash. When hit, the duck loses its hitbox and allows you to just jump through it, giving it a nice 3D effect in a 2D landscape, which if this was a visuals tier list, I'd be like, yes please mate. But this mob is difficult and poses a significant threat, so this will go in B tier. Number 25, Bumper Car. Beppy wants to be the top dog in Western Supermare with these carts. The bumper car is a living entity, so it will be treated as such. The cart has a tendency to bait you at times, keeping you out of your comfort zone, quickly edging towards you if you get too close. The bumper car covers the bottom part of the map and is quite tedious without smoke dash, but it all depends on if he's had his Weetabix, that he goes easy or hard on you. B-tier. Number 26, balloon dogs. The balloon dogs look like a typical cartoon dog, sprouting its abnormally long snout and floppy latex ears. They flood the middle of the screen once Beppy enters his balloon phase. There's a parryable version of this mob which is very easy to take advantage of and utilize, due to it being pretty large and an easy shape. Now this mob used to be a really easy heart loss, but nowadays that dog gets fucking put down, buried, a compilation made of it and sent off before a second breath. A-tier. Number 27, roller coaster. Another sentient vehicle, operated by itself this time and not Beppy. The endless roller coaster appears in the background to signal what will happen next signal, like a train signal. What kind of fucking... Oh. See, that was supposed to be a really smart joke, but it makes no sense. So I'm just going to carry on. The roller coaster is primarily an obstacle that's set for players to dodge. With its parryable nose and 3 AM London tube passengers, it calls for a very scary and violent ride. This mob appears in the second, third and final phase of the fight, acting like an extra thing to focus on while the balloon dogs are charging you or the horse firing out his horseshoes. It poses for a very annoying addition to the Beppy fight. C-tier. Number 28, Charlie Horse. In the third phase, Beppy hasn't had enough fun at the carnival just yet and wants to ride the carousel. This carousel isn't fun for kids, however. It's deadly and packs a heavy punch. The Charlie Horse has two different phases, differing in colour. The green horse shoots out swirly horseshoes that move in a worm-like manner, whereas the yellow horse shoots out a row of horseshoes that have one opening, to allow you to avoid the attack as they drop down. The Charlie Horse poses a significant threat, especially when paired with the roller coaster. This, however, is probably the second easiest boss to get rid of if you're lucky enough to kill the balloon while the roller coaster is there. This allows you time to go under the horse and hold your shot tight to deal consistent damage and get rid of him as quickly as possible before the next roller coaster appears. But if the roller coaster appears and the horse isn't dead, prepare your anus, mate, just saying, because a horseshoe is about to raid your ring piece. C-tier.
Yeah! You're gonna die, clown!
Number 29, Penguin Clown. First of all, I don't know why Mumble, Gloria and the fucking gang are here, because from all the extensive research I did, I looked up one article, it depicts that the main animals in the circus were horses, lions, tigers, bears, chimpanzees, alligators, llamas, rhinos, and elephants. In no way does it say penguins! So hop your retarded little happy ass feet back to the Arctic. The Penguin Clown appears just as a roller coaster has whizzed by, following the third phase, and last time I checked, they weren't in contact with Babe Ruth, but they somehow conjure up some baseballs for whatever reason. These mobs are fucking horrible. You have to deal with a moving platform while also trying to dodge the equivalent of a fucking pitching machine sprouting an irritating ass smile. Or you could just go down the bottom and shoot them, but what loser does that? Just take the hits, man. What are you doing? D-tier. Number 30, Mummy. These little mini mummified jimmies appear in the third phase of the fight, and they're not too bad to deal with, in all honesty. They appear in enough time to react and kill them if you aren't stupid, and stay far away from the sarcophagus. They move at different speeds judging by the movements they make with their hands, but the bombs will make light work of these mobs in no time. 8. Number 31, Eye Pyramid.
I am the eye in the sky, looking at you like a laser blast.
The Eye Pyramid is probably the hardest mob of the Jimmy fight, purely because the way the lasers blast in their cross fashion, and the way the pyramids rotate. Sometimes you're better off losing a heart or just accepting your fate, because these things are tricky to predict. You need to find a spot where you can allow yourself enough space to move with the pyramid while it's blasting, while also avoiding Jimmy's massive fucking grid. D-tier. Number 32, nail chicks, or nail bird. The nail birds have been taught from birth, training relentlessly in the Hilti Nail Dojo to find their nails. Years of effort training, mastering their craft, just for me to clear them out in 2 seconds. The nail chicks clearly didn't train that hard on misdirection, as they fly in a straight line, and expect me just to tremble. I make quick work of these. S-tier. Number 33, Magician. The only spell this guy can conjure up that would be useful is a big steaming pile of shit on their head!
Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Whoa! I said a pirate ship!
No!
They appear out of nowhere in choke points and are just best to be avoided. They throw a combination of magic shapes and pink puff that might as well be useless because you can't parry it! If you manage to get rid of this cunt, he ends up spawning back again, if you're close. You know, like a zit you can't get rid of. You know, like a seething, pustuling ooze, like Miss Trunchbull says, you know? Annoying mob. I wish it didn't exist, in all honesty. I'd be happy if it just died tomorrow. S-tier. Number 34, Trampoline. This fella's got the fucking Timberlands on and he's ready for work. The trampoline acts as an aid to guide you past the obstacles at the start of the level. Your job from there is to dodge the Latex warriors. It's not his fault from there, so you can't blame him. He's got no hit points and might as well be a friend more than an enemy. S-tier. Number 35, the Latex warriors and warrioresses, the balloons. Standard floating abandoned balloons, and I'm not gonna lie, if I was a kid and my balloon looked like this, I would do the exact same because that smile is fucking terrifying. The balloon has 3 different styles. The goofy blue balloon, the Betty Boop green balloon, and the parryable pink balloon. One thing to bear in mind with the pink balloon, unlike other mobs in the run and guns, if you parry this one, it does no damage. You just float over her. That would have been useful in my P ranks, but you know. Can't get my 6 hours back. It's best to dash past these foes, because if you shoot them, you put yourself into a whole world of hurt. Because when these balloons burst, they shoot out a flurry of tight-spaced bullets in 8 directions that are pretty tough to not lose an early heart from. The split second where they're exploding is really unsettling. It looks like something from the Mandela catalogue. Mandela catalogue. S-tier.
Wake up, Joseph. I pooped my pants.
Number 36, Ball Clowns. Come on, Ball Clown. Not some wacky name like Roundy Rollerson or Roly Clownly. Nah, just Ball Clown. This mob genuinely cannot catch a break. Every time I pass it, I have this undying urge just to kill it. I don't know why. No idea. The Ball Clown rolls back and forth on a ball in the little pit areas of the level, acting like a floor trap, requiring timing to get past it. And when it's paired with that fucking magician standing in the middle, it becomes quite a difficult mob. But on its own, not so much. Still holds a significant threat. S-tier. Number 37, Monkey Robots. Bender's been shagging about, and as a result, there are monkey robots. Or, I've got a better name for them, okay? Moldenhauer needs to hire me because I'm going to call them, right, get this, swinging switchboards. Now, doesn't that just roll off the tongue? And it sounds smart, and it sounds cartoony. So, you know, swinging switchboards, that's what I'm going to call them.
Hey, that's pretty good.
These little fellas appear on the last tent of the level, and there's about 3 rows of these miscreants hanging from the canes blocking the path. You either have to shoot them or dash through them, and fortunately for you, they do absolutely nothing. They don't even shoot at you, so you can just, you know, take them out. The only problem is the cannonball going across, and that's hardly a threat either because the cannonball goes in a straight line. You can see it from a mile away. S-tier. Number 38, the cannon wall, or the metal, no, the gun structure. I guess we'll just have to stick with cannon wall. These cannons are found near the end of the second tent, and these cannons are found on my arms. Pure Cuphead speedrunner muscle, that. Careful, ladies of age, that's what I call boyfriend material. At first, these guys are just sniping you off the screen like the Acorn machine does, but once you get to them, you either have to defeat them or smoke dash through them. And don't dilly-dally in this part of the level, just move forward with intention, with passion, with vision, and with mindset! Because, I don't know if you noticed while you were traversing across, these cannonballs can knock the platforms down. But as a mob, not really much to worry about. S-tier. Number 39. Shooting range. I hovered over the image of the shooting range and it said Shotgun Sam, so I'm guessing it's Shotgun Sam. This mob acts a bit like the horse on the Beppy fight, but instead of leaving a gap to let you go through, he drops wooden ducks across the screen, making you move closer to Sam, potentially costing you a heart. Alternatively, if you have smoke dash, you can make quick work of this boss by these simple moves. I'm not sure if you know this, but you can smoke dash while crouching, and that provides a lot of use when you're trying to avoid these big mobs. Now what you need to do is crouch right next to Sam and dash in quick succession, yeah. And by some miracle, you pass him completely without even touching a hair on him. Not that shooting ranges have hair, but let's just say you don't leave a scrape on the machinery. Wink, wink. Overall, this mob isn't the worst to deal with. His attacks are predictable and his health is fairly low, so if you aren't willing to do the smoke dash trick, which I advise you should, because, you know, it's easier, you could throw a couple EXs in there and make light work of him in no time. S-tier. Number 40. Pretzel. Pilfering pretzel. Prick pretzel. Pompous pretzel. You know, something else other than pretzel, man. Come on. This mob is a tricky one because in some cases, he can be pretty easy to avoid, but like always, he will catch you off guard when you least expect it, especially when you're panicking. This pretzel is such a threatening presence, and also grouped with the approaching sources and rising and falling platforms, make for quite an annoying obstacle, especially if you're short of health or smoke dash. S-tier. Number 41. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Beep, 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 beep. The saucy little dancing hot dog, unable to keep it in. With the dude perfect tight distance, this bunned fiend is a proper sharpshooter, throwing out his deadly condiment bullets up and down the screen, giving you that extra thing to dodge along with the pretzels, providing the last leg with just a little bit more difficulty. And boy, I have died so many times to this prick. If you have 2 hearts and get to the hot dog, you can, with a little bit of precision, dash over the dodgy dog, leaving it to be eaten. A very difficult mob to keep up with. If you don't have smoke dash, just keep shooting it, keep dodging the sources, and you'll be past that level in no time. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. I believe in you. S-tier.
Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed. 1 winner. 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast. Breakfast? Maybe I should have had breakfast. Little brekkie could be good for me. No, stay focused. Speed. I'm faster than fast, quicker than quick. I am lightning.
Number 42. Toy car. The toy car is a ground avoidance mob, unable to be destroyed. They come out of the dreaded 2-mouth wall, boogieing its way towards you with no intention of stopping, forcing you to utilize the variable cards that switch up the gravity. Once you've got the hang of how the cards work, and the height the cards are moving, they're not too much of a problem. S-tier. Number 43. Toy duck. Forget the ugly duckling. Someone called Childline for these ducklings because that duck looks like a local at Spoons. I'm just saying. Now, when I was making my thumbnail, the duck was sitting way higher than it is now because I was under the impression that the duck had no hit points. But upon coming across the wiki, the only reason I thought it had no hit points is because I completely missed their head, and a recent comment on the Perilous tier list stated you could also crouch past the wheels, which I had no idea happened. Like, am I just bad at the game? Is this just a cope? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality. I'm just a pauper! Now, from all this new knowledge on how easy the duck is, I'm gonna put the ducks in A tier. Number 44, the star. The star is one of the most annoying mobs I've laid my eyes on. The way this mob operates is just so fucking frustrating, and while it's absolutely decimating my run, it's always got the same goofy ass smile on his face, like some purge mask. The star's main attacks are cannonballs, which is switches from to plus to cross in short intervals, giving you some time to move across the platform, but don't start pumping your kicks too quick, because they're only playing with you. Don't let the face deceive you. Be aware of what direction they're shooting, because if you're under them at the wrong time,
Gonna have a bad time.
D tier. But number 45, nothing compares to the rocket con. Look at me, I'm Colonel Scarface, I can sing. Can you hear how good I can sing? Look, I can hit this note. Oh, whoa, look at me, I'm a professional singer. Whoa, what? The tiny rockets want to make your life a misery. They are small yellow rockets that ride a little motorcycle, pulling some Tony Hawk-ass moves you've never seen before to get towards you. Up, down, they are everywhere. And with the murderous star shooting its rockets at you, this mob hides in plain sight and appearing out of nowhere, quickly ending your run. This is one you need to kill immediately, and don't be fooled, these rocket fuckers don't stop once you've killed them, they just keep coming back, so just get out there, soldier! D tier.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
Number 46, the Jack in the Box. What can I say about this guy? They appear in the final section of the Carnival kerfuffle, and depending on RNG, can be a breeze past or an annoying heart loss. No in between, so I'm gonna put it in B tier.
All the things come back to you. Sing with me, sing for the year.
Number 47, Jacks. Poor, suicidal devil Jacks. This mob lives to be killed. The Jack appears off screen in the gaps, appearing as you're traversing from platform to platform, either successfully taking a heart, or more than often being parried dead or shot dead. I just feel sorry for this mob. But it's still fairly difficult if you aren't paying attention, and could catch you off guard if you aren't careful. B tier. Number 48, the Tuba. Let's be real, every Cuphead player at some point has imitated this mob one way or another. The is too good. I just love it so much. The 3 tubas in this map cover different areas in the final part of the level, forcing you, like the cars, to change gravity with the parryable cards that are dotted across the strange run and gun. Wow, that's a mouthful. Once you've figured out the tuba's attacks, it's not too bad, as the tuba inhales before attacking, giving you some time to react before reaping onomatopoeic hell. I don't know if that's a word in the English dictionary, but we're saying it anyways because it makes me look smart. B tier. Number 49, Bee Worker. Now this poor fucker's just got back from his 9 to 5. His wife isn't putting out anymore, he's in a loveless marriage, and here Cuphead comes along and takes him out like he's nothing. Wait, why is the video paused? What's going on? Why are we not continuing? Come on, let's wrap this up. We're on 50, we can finish it. What? No, Stephen, why are you here? Why are you here again?
Stand for this
You should be,
slander.
like, dead, or at least just in the
This
ER,
historically
rethinking your life choices.
inaccurate
Why are you here?
slander.
Why? What are you gonna do? I'm just gonna slap you again. What's going on? Why is this music playing? Why? What do you mean? Oh my God!
Try and beat us now, eh? Try and beat us now!
Oh my God! Make it stop!
Hello. Stephen here. So in conclusion, the bee doesn't do a 9 to 5. It's a standard breed fiend that wallows in self-pity because he didn't manage to land the queen. A bit like myself. This mob isn't particularly hard, just one of the more mobs I relate to and feel sorry for. It moves in a fairly predictable direction, being very easy to avoid. Now, I've had my spiel. I suppose you can continue with the video, Colonel. but do be warned that my minions stand at the ready for any inaccuracies that may follow, so watch your back.
Yeah, that won't be necessary, Stephen. Thank you for your ever-growing unwanted advice. S-tier. Number 50. Barrel. This jolly bastard is like my ex-girlfriend. She's happy one minute, and then the next she wants to crush you so hard as soon as you're in her eye shot. The barrel's predictable for the most part, and once you have his pattern down, he isn't as bad as some people put him across to be. Many mobs use his attacks to his advantage, such as the shark, who covers half of the bottom planks to trap you in the corner, like a fish in a barrel. But if you keep an eye on what mob is coming next, you can trick him into dropping early, giving you one less thing to worry about, and focus on the shark. Also, a fun fact, if you're caught under the beam and the barrel is fresh and primed to crush you, if you have smoke dash, you can duck and dash past him like you did with the slot machine. Look at me giving the tips, eh? You're gonna beat this game in no time, little champ. I know. You're gonna do it, don't worry. Don't you worry. Don't you bloody worry. S-tier. Number 51. Squid. The squid is the EDL's worst nightmare, turning your screen black if you take too many hits from its inky projectiles. This mob doesn't do damage per se, it's used mostly as a hindrance for other mobs to take advantage of. Having quite low hit points, this mob is fairly easy to get rid of, and the patterns for the inky projectiles are easy to avoid in time. And even if you do take a few hits, your screen only gets slightly harder to see, and it's very easy to play with the inky covering over the border of your screen. S-tier. Number 52. Shark. The shark arrives from the left side of the screen, followed by the sound of 2 sirens, and will attempt to bite you, covering the 5th plank after the first pole, scurrying back upset after an unsuccessful attack, as it usually is unsuccessful, and it's an easy mob on the first few phases. It only poses some form of difficulty when it's deployed when the ship starts firing cannons at you, or if the barrel is in your way and ready to deploy. S-tier. Number 53. Dogfish. The dogfish appear from a periscope after the captain finishes his whistle. The dogfish will attempt to bite you, snarling and leaping at you across the dock, scurrying across the screen back into the sea. This will happen a total of 4 times before the periscope disappears, and the phase continues. In terms of difficulty, again, the dogfish doesn't have many hit points, often being taken care of in 1 or 2 hits to get rid. They pose not much of a threat, only up to the point where the ship starts firing its cannons, and at that point, you will need to be aware of your footing. S-tier. Number 54. Babies. The lovely, mischievous offspring of Sally and husband. Yep, that's his name. Husband. Not Gary or Jeff.
Jeff?
Or Mark.
This is bollocks, man.
Don't know why I thought of Gary, Jeff, or Mark, because they sound like construction workers' names, but... Oi, Gar! You gonna bring those tools over? Regardless, they use all their babyish might to throw fucking milk bottles at you, when they should in fact be learning their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s, not out the window throwing their bottles and being praised for that as if it's good behaviour. Like, do you want spoiled ass children who aren't gonna listen to you, or what? As a mob, they just serve to catch you off guard, while you're also trying to avoid the wind-up mice that are also cruising across the screen, and although they're not educated, the babies, they're doing a great job, so you can't fault them. S-tier. Number 55. None. This is the only way to prevent a neglectful mother. Kill her fucking dumbass husband and cut the bloodline there. It sounds morbid, but it's the right thing to do. The nuns act as the baby's replacement, throwing their beating sticks at you, taunting you for being a murderer, and subjecting the nuns to dealing with Sally Selfish. The rulers she throws are parryable in some cases and easy to see flying across the screen, and provide us the easier option on the second phase. S-tier. Number 56. Spectral rats. Buck-toothed rats clad in 1920s prison scrubs. The spectral rats appear as soon as Werner Werman reveals his cat friend Katzenwagen. Still can't pronounce that fucking name. It's been 2 years and I still can't pronounce that name. So I'm literally just going to say Tom. I said I was going to say Tom, but then I decided to pronounce it again. What am I playing at? The rat's movesets consist of throwing a big ball that is very visible, but when it hits the ground it can become a little bit of a problem, as the big ball splits into two littler balls that fly in two directions, and paired with Katzenwagen tearing the place down and the dropping planks, it can be a bit of a nuisance, but not the worst thing in the world. S-tier. Number 57. Seahorse. The seahorse is the most vocal mob of the Cala Maria fight, introducing itself by going. The job of the seahorse is to throw you into other attacks and acts as a secondary thing to deal with while focusing on the main attacks that Cala Maria throws at you. It tries to push you to the top using its water spout. You can avoid this though by changing into your little plane, because littler objects means less resistance, I think. Just turn small and avoid it! S-tier. Number 58. Turtle. You better grab shell, dude, against this mob. This script is so shit, I give up. The turtle cruises across the water like the seahorse, but instead of shooting water, it shoots a big spiky ball that releases bullets in 8 directions, providing another shower of projectiles to deal with. I'd say it's tougher than the seahorse, but still not that bad, once you know the method to its madness. S-tier. Number 59. Pufferfish. The pufferfish float from below in a random pattern. I don't know if it's random. I think it's random. It's like the Ribby and Croaks thing. People going, oh, it's not random, it's not random, it's not this. I've had probably about 50 comments saying it's not random, right? If you comment on that Perilous video and say it's not random, please check the pinned comment. Some of the pufferfish are parryable, and all of them have quite a small hitbox. I've had this message on my parryables tier list saying the pufferfish deflated is parryable. Meh, you missed this, you missed that. And I will tell you, okay, I did it, and it doesn't work, so cut it out! S-tier. Number 60, Electric Eel. Now this one's a challenge, not because their projectiles are hard to avoid. It's because Cala Maria thinks to take it a step further and become Medusa. Sorry Cala, but Medusa's already taken. You can't just have all these powers and also be Medusa. This just doesn't work. Also, fun fact, you can avoid the stone effect by flying just above her head and avoid it completely. But only do this if you get rid of the eels, because, you know, if you don't, then you're just going to lose a heart. So make sure you take care of the eels. The eels throw all sorts of shit at you. Think of yourself to be in the hood, because all the shots keep on coming and they split and spread in all directions, and it's by far one of the most fucking annoying mobs in the game. Your best bet to get rid of them quickly are the bombs, as they take care of multiple eels at once in quick succession. But don't relax when they're all gone, because they'll be back quicker than you can say fucking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. S-tier. That was one take. Come on! Number 61. Pumpkin! The pumpkin can be a gift and a curse, no in between. It flies across the screen, dropping its pink soap as soon as it reaches a crank on the cart, dropping it to throw you further into the fight. Now the reason this can be a gift and a curse is because the soap being pink means that it's parryable, meaning that you can get a nice bit of super juice from it. Just make sure you parry it before it hits the crank. The pumpkin, also when defeated, will drop its soap, so if you just prefer to get rid of it, then just shoot it when it appears. I mean, it's bright fucking orange in a dark railway fight, it's not hard to see, you know what I mean? Just shoot it. S-tier. Number 62, Tampon Ghost, a fan favourite. Spook, known as the Tampon Ghost, by looking eerily similar to yeah, you guessed it. Well done! Gold star! The Tampon Ghost is a fucking nuisance. It flies in a really strange direction, and when killed, it attacks you from the grave, dropping a parryable skull that plummets straight down. Now this may not sound that bad, but when you're trying to avoid the conductor's big fucking grid, or even the lollipop monsters blasting girt fucking lasers at you, the best thing to do with the Tampon Ghost is to shoot it when it comes down to your level. Because if you shoot it while off screen and in the air, you've got so many other things to avoid, and that just adds a skull into the mix. I've lost so many lives to this mob, but I've learned how to deal with it, so I will be putting it in S-tier. Number 63, Fishy Flyer. Flies in a stupid wave direction and always there to catch you off guard, always off screen, and has that stupid smiley little expression. S-tier. Number 64, Larnacle the Barnacle. Larnacles, full name Larnacle the Barnacle. This mob is very similar to the Tulip. He stays in one space, shoots out projectiles, and hides in plain sight. The Larnacles appear in some sections of Perilous Piers, waiting to claim their next victim. This mob has always been a little bit of a problem to me, so I'm going to be putting it in S-tier. Number 65, Urban Urchin. See, I'm not sure what's so urban about this urchin. Like, I don't see them at Urban Outfitters wearing fucking cargo trousers and a New Yorker hat. But nevertheless, the urban urchin is again similar to the little blue blobs, just running around back and forth waiting for the player to step on them. They've got a small hitbox, so they're pretty simple to deal with. S-tier. Number 66, Crabby Cloister. These crabs just like their personal space. They've got the plank for you to walk on and help you across, but if you go under them, they start to go a bit mental and start taking hearts off you. I mean, I like my personal space, so I don't blame them. They're very helpful mobs that help you traverse across the middle part of the level, but if you fall in the middle, you're in for a world of hurt if you don't have the smoke dash. B-tier. Number 67, Bubble Star. The little dancing star is used for that extra boost to get across the boat. Doesn't really provide that much use and doesn't really pose as much of a threat either. So I'm going to say A-tier. Number 68, Boy. What a creative name. This mob stays in the water and isn't really a bad mob, and actually helps you get around, letting you parry their light bulb to gain some airtime and avoid the water, helping you further across the stage. Nothing more to say really. S-tier. Number 69, Octopus. The octopus makes his appearance as soon as you're close to the end of the stage. Its tentacles begin to appear, helping you across its head, and then you are met with a smiling octopus with an anchor bludgeoned through its skull, sprouting a parryable gem. Once on the octopus's head, it will begin to move. This is where the gem comes into play, as it keeps our friendly creature afloat. This is the only way the octopus can deal any sort of damage, as this little fella on its own deals no damage, and it's just being helpful. As you parry the gem, the octopus shoots out a big cannonball, destroying any barriers that block your path. Overall, this mob is great, but paired with some other things, it can be quite a difficult experience. A-tier. Number 70, Perilous Pearl Shooter. Upon first inspection, I thought for sure this was a frog shooting bubbles, but to my surprise, it's actually a flying clam that shoots pearls, which I guess makes more sense. This mob is definitely a nuisance. And because the wiki gives me nothing to copy from, then I guess I'm gonna have to actually do my job for once. So the Pearl Shooter, or Clam Cannon, they should hire me for real. 2 C's and it makes sense. Anyway, the Clam Cannon is a nuisance to deal with, as it's another addition to the shrimps. It's just a little guy trying to put his 10 pence in. Luckily, he's not much of a threat, and the bullets are big enough to keep an eye on. B-tier. So you may see that a lot of this footage looks like it's repeated. That's because it is, because this level is fucking shit! And from writing that script, me going, oh, B-tier for this clam. No, it's Number 71, Shy Shrimp. Let me read that again. Shy Shrimp. Shy Shrimp. Shy! These fuckers don't deserve any of my time, and to brand these shrimps as shy is such a stupid name, because they throw themselves at me like they want to kiss, mouth open and all. Last time I checked, that wasn't very shy. The shrimps come out in bursts, relying on quantity to get you off guard. This is by far one of the most frustrating mobs for the pacifist run, and even the normal run is a real ball ache. But having one parryable shrimp, it's alright I guess, but it still gets a D tier. Okay, so the shy shrimps are still D tier because of all the other shop types, but if you just use fucking twist up, it's so easy. I literally just found this out now. I'm editing this right now. I'm on like number 71. This is me editing this section, and I was recording the footage for it because I couldn't get any footage for fucking Perilous Piers. And I just used the twist up, and it's so fucking easy. Number 72, Mountain Goat. My observational skills suck with this mob because I genuinely thought even though this beast has old big horns, a fucking stretched out face, my assumption was a rat. Unless the rat is fucking cosplaying for Christmas, it is most definitely a goat. The goat's main moveset is throwing its pickaxe like a boomerang, having it fly back to them, repeating the move until it gets killed. Now this mob you can't rush but more bait, because they throw their pickaxe while you're in their eye shot. You've got to preempt their attack. Useful ways to trick the goat is using my tips for my pacifist video, so go watch that when you're finished with this video. Hey, I see your pointer. No. You can't have the pudding until you finish your dinner. The goat isn't too much of an issue if you pay attention to your surroundings, and their hit points aren't too strenuous, so you can make quick work of them with some shots. B-tier. Number 73, Pyro Heads. The living, spinning, fiery obstacle that probably holds the medal for the most hit points that a mob can have.
So guys, we did it. We reached 9,999 hit points.
The Pyro Heads don't fire any bullets and don't move anywhere but on the platforms they claim. So just let them spin, find an opening and bam, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. The only time these fire spinners pose a challenge is towards the end where you're under pressure and running from the troll. But if you stay calm and collected, you will make mincemeat of this mob and finish the level. You got this. B-tier. Number 74, the balance scale. Something you need to use, fatty. Way! I'm kidding. Everyone is beautiful. You are worthy of love and affection. Don't let anyone put out your flame. Subscribe for more wholesome moments with Colonel. The balance scales are another mob who are just looking to help. Being fragile and light, they find it hard to hold your own weight on them and drop. But just do it a favour and move to the next. There's another one to give assistance, so share the load. These platforms are making the best of a bad situation, and if you take damage, don't blame them. They're purely there to help you out, so be grateful for fuck's sake. S-tier. Number 75, Mountain Lion. I love the literal sense of this mob. Good job, Moldenhauer, on that one. That's a good mob name. The Mountain Lion isn't featured on the mob list as it's technically a mini-boss. However, I'm nice, and in my eyes, it's a mob. So if you want to argue with me in the comments, I'd advise you wouldn't, you prick. The Mountain Lions are found in the first and middle section of Rugged Ridge. They stay dormant until approached in their line of sight. They will then start to roar/yawn, a gust of wind so fierce that it may push you off your platform. But if you jump against the wind and use a bit of your noggin and hold your shot on the lion to kill it off, then you're sorted. You can also, if you're really skilled, like me, you can let it settle and then just jump over it, smoke dash. Pacifist tips, you know what I'm saying? B-tier. Number 76, Clay Golem. The Clay Golem comes in two varieties, Venti and Grande, with a splash of coffee and cream. Can I take a name for the golem, sir? This gooey creature moves in one direction and doesn't jump until its sloppy body collapses under its own weight. The small ones you can jump over, but the big ones, you dash if you have smoke, or just move the opposite direction. Shoot it and it'll clear itself off eventually. Not much of a bother. B-tier. Number 77, Dragon. I mean, personally, Grim Toothpick would have been a great option. These names come out my head like it's nothing. Okay, I'll stop with the name changes. Psych! The dragon appears on the descending platform stage of Rugged Ridge, and appears usually paired with the golems. Its main moveset is tiny fireballs which they spit at the player, some fireballs being parryable. After they run out of gas, they fly away. It has 12 hit points, so quite easy to clear off. Admittedly, I lose my hearts mostly on this stage, so in that sense, I'll give it a C tier. Number 78, s-dtier. Fuck, I don't know. These Greek frolicking ancient beasts leap into the picture, causing all sorts of mischief with their dangerous moves. These fuckers are fast, and will damage you if you touch them. Fortunately, with only 5 hit points on their own, these little beasts are more of an annoyance than a threat. But paired with other mobs like the Mountain Lion or the Face, then you may be in some real trouble. C tier. Number 79, the Face. The ever-grinning, ever-moving, goofy face is a barrier found on the final part of Rugged Ridge, signifying that the final stage is on its way, and they're the barriers that need to be torn down before facing the troll. This is essentially a weaker version of the two-mouth wall, as they both perform the same role for the player, shooting hazards from their mouths while acting more of an obstacle to obstruct the player's progress. To get past the wall, you could parry its face when it goes fully up, or just shoot the wall until it crumbles. Paired with the other mobs though, and the ink drops, this causes the wall to also be in S-tier. Number 80, Jeanette's olive bats. I get rid of them before they cause any nuisance. I hate the Tipsy Troop and couldn't care less about this stupid mob. Doesn't even deserve a ranking, but I have to. Not an issue. A-tier. Worst bloody boss in the game, honestly. Number 81, Domino Bird. Not sure what type of bird this domino is, but I'm guessing the whole breeding stage of these is something to see. Just put that in your head, didn't I? These birds are summoned by Pip's hat. The bird will fly over to the other side of the arena and drop down in an attempt to throw you off your footing. But these birds can be killed pretty quickly, and once they've been made note of, they aren't too bad. A-tier. Number 82, Billiard Chalk. Although these are the mobs that feature in probably one, if not the easiest rotation in the King Dice fight, they can still pose somewhat of a threat. Being immortal and appearing off screen, although their movements may be predictable and easy to avoid, these chalks can still catch you off guard when you least expect it. The best advice is to stay mostly central. That way you can see them come onto the screen and therefore be able to easily make note of their movements. I'm aware that was total gibberish, but it made sense in the script. They should also be called chippy chalks, just saying. A-tier. Number 83, Purple Demon. And just like that, we've made it to the devil. And we're almost to the point where the video ends and I leave for another month or a year or so. But I'll save the thank yous for the end of the video. Purple demons are the bane of my existence. Although having very little hit points, these little fuckers still find a way to throw me off my rhythm and are one of the most tedious, unbelievably annoying and inconvenient mobs in this game. Even when you take care of them off screen, you need to make note of the devil's movements where the next demon will spawn, because for example, say if you have a demon approaching from the right side of the screen, you kill it, and then the devil does a snake stretch to the left side, you have only but a split second before the next demon appears on the right, taking a heart from you in your only safe space. Keep an eye on the movements, and you just may have a chance. D-tier. Number 84, Fat Demon.
Cravings. What foods do we get cravings of? Tanya, start us off.
Chocolate?
Chocolate. Yes. Well done. Chocolate. Lovely.
This purple demon has had way too many Big Macs and Subway Super Stacks from the Devil's Cafeteria that his wings are working overtime to keep his fat fucking flabby body above the ground. I feel deeply sorry for his wings. These beasts appear in pairs on each side towards the end of the devil fight when you're fighting its face. Their moveset consists of shooting out skulls occasionally, some being parryable. Your best bet with these beasts is to get rid of at least one as they're spawning in, so you can make note of the little imps and other projectiles that fill the level like a fucking carvery plate. B-tier. Number 85, Imps. The Imps are small little pointy-nosed demons that appear alongside the fat demons in groups of 2 or 3. They spin into action towards you, trying to throw you off your platforms and into a heart loss. The sheer quantity of these beasts make this mob a significant problem. C-tier. Number 86, the Spectre Syndicate. The Ghosties. The normal ghost, the grandpa ghost, the female ghost, and the big ghost. All cannot deal any damage or be killed by any projectile. These beasts are dealt with the spectral power of the parry. They end their phase by killing Miss Chalice, so your job is to keep them away from her. The normal ghost moves in a straight line, and is the easiest of the syndicate. A-tier. The grandpa ghost is a little smaller and moves at a quicker pace than a normal ghost, but still poses little threat or challenge. A-tier. The female ghost, however, flips the script by entering the stage in an endless circle motion, edging closer and closer. In order to get this mob just right, you need to time its movements, slightly tougher than the other two, but still not too bad. B-tier. The big ghost surprisingly isn't that hard. You can chain this big fucker and end his streak pretty quickly. It acts like a Russian doll. When parried, it releases 2 normal ghosts that are slightly smaller, but very easy to get rid of. A tier. Ghosts are so easy, honestly. That's it. That's it. Not long now, scabs. We move, last but not least, to Inkwell Isle 4, the DLC island. Number 87. Gnomes. The bane of my existence. We have finally come to the fucking gnomes. These little critters appear in every nook and cranny of the Glumstone fight. They love the spotlight and can come in many forms, which I will list below. Spiky gnomes. The little fuckers hide in the ground for any unsuspecting player to land in their row of hats, dealing damage. Hammer gnomes. The little fuckers that don't allow you to stay on one platform at once and claim it by appearing behind you and laying down their hammer. Buried gnomes. If the spikes weren't bad enough, these little fuckers burrow in the ground and pop out when you least expect it. Dart gnomes. The little fuckers shoot darts across in your direction, appearing out of thin air. The only redeemable quality is one of the darts being parryable. So they like to get around, let's say. They are the absolute worst mob in the game, and I will die on this hill. D tier. Number 88. Ant cops. Ant cops, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Ant cops, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Just move out the way, they're not that bad. Lovely little detail though. The gas that shoots is harmful to the spider. Little factoid to take home with you. Don't say I don't treat you. A tier. The additional ant cop that appears in the final phase is pretty tricky though. If it was separate, I'd give it a B tier. Yeah. Number 89. Fly goon. The henchman of the spider. These buzzing bastards appear from their little hovels and roam the stage. They're fairly easy to deal with, being particularly big and easy to record. Little tip for ya. Use the web bombs to get rid of multiple fly goons. It was fairly difficult at the start, but now they're just another fly on the wall. Doom, doom, doom. All in all, they're just another fly on the wall. Bum, 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 bum. We don't need no explanation. Bum, 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 bum. We don't need no pest control. Bum, 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 bum. The green bastards that appear from nowhere. Bum, 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 bum. Cuphead, kill those goons some more. Hey! Cuphead! Kill them goons some more! A tier. Number 90. Caterpillar Mobster. Now we're talking problems. Also, I don't know what kind of mobster this clown is. Like, first of all, his suit is shite. Who wears green if you're a mobster? Dressing like Jim Carrey when he played The Mask. Furthermore, a red nose and ginger hair. And what are these shoes? He's wearing the bloody I don't want to set the world on fire. D for the outfit alone. This mob is kicked into action by Charlie Left Legs and bounces about the stage until you time your shot enough to get them. The direction of their presence and all the additional shit you gotta deal with. I gotta say this mob is fairly tricky. B tier. Number 91. Moonshine Barrels. Not much to say about these ones. Like the Parables video, they're okay. I mean, I usually don't take much notice of them, usually killing them instantly before they do anything. So, A tier. Number 92. Icicles. These things are summoned by the wizard and appear by piercing themselves into the ground, getting back up shortly. Now these are very hit and miss because although they have fairly small hit points, they're still very awkward in their movements, causing me to lose a heart or two in some cases. B tier. Number 93. Twin Popsicle Bats. These wouldn't be an issue if they didn't fly up the way they do. They really appear in such an awkward way, and during the most awkward attacks. Depending on what the snowman uses, this mob can be a right nuisance. Word count nuisance. That's brilliant. How many have I used that now? Ah, lovely. I love using that word. So let me give you an example. If the snowman uses his swords, then dealing with the icy boys along with that can be a bit of an issue. But the others, you can find a little more time to compose yourself. But their pattern makes it awkward nonetheless. S-tier. Number 94, Flying Horse. We've said this fella's helping us, giving us parryables and then real shots to wean off s-tier's suspicion that they're working with us. He directs the shot and lets us know when he fires. He doesn't make it look too easy either, which is always a plus. A-tier. Number 95, Desert Limes. Now we're gonna go to the Saltbaker's massacre. Oh my god, this is brutal. I feel that the limes got the worst death out of the bunch, and as a result, they're the worst mob of the bunch. The limes appear off screen once Saltbaker has absolutely sliced them up. Their sliced pieces will come from the side that they were pushed off from and will boomerang back. If they appear higher, then the mob will boomerang lower and vice versa. All in all, especially on expert mode, this was the mob that collected up the most averages for heart losses in my runs. D-tier. Number 96, Icy Sugar Cubes. The more forgiving mob. Upon being mutilated, these cubes appear on screen and move in an arced motion, one of them being parryable. The largeness of the cubes and the attack on its own isn't that bad, so I'm going to put it in A-tier. Number 97, Distillery Dough. He looked so happy. He was so happy, he was just chilling, and then... The Dough is another sentient mob in the Saltbaker fight, following the same fate as the other ones, being brutally mutilated, flattened and carved and brought to life with his magic. The created cookies bounce from the side of the screen in a boingy motion. They're pretty okay once you work out their pattern, but stay focused. Don't start charging in willy-nilly. B-tier. Number 98, Gnome Berries. Now I'm going to say this outright, that the Gnome Berry got a nicer fate than the others. Yeah, he squeezed all the stuff out of him, but the box is still intact. He's still alive. You just got to refill it with more berries. Just get the gnomes to make some more. Squished by Saltbaker, the berries shower the screen, littering the stage with small projectiles. This, paired with all the other attacks, especially the fireball, is something to definitely focus on. C-tier. Number 99, Pepper Shaker. Finally, we have the Pepper Shakers. The little shakers who appear on the second phase of Chef Saltbaker, and from looking at them, fail to have any pepper in them whatsoever. They appear on every corner of the screen, taking exactly 15 shakers to get to the third phase, and the reason I know this is probably because I've spent the equivalent of a month on the Saltbaker fight. These ones are difficult either way, best to just get rid of them as soon as you can. Always have one dead on your side, and try to aim for the top one if you can. C-tier. Well, that's another video, scabs. I know I haven't properly uploaded in like a year or two. Cuphead content anyways. I did make a full Horrible Histories tier list that I will pop up in my channel outro. Please check it out if you can. It's about 2 hours long, and I did spend about 3 months editing it and working on it, so it'll be much appreciated. I have missed out some of them, like Charles II, and I definitely will put that in top 5 or top 3, but rendering that video again, let's just say it took about 3 days to render that video, so I'm just gonna say Charles II belongs in top 3, 100%. There's not really much else to say, but thank you so much for sticking with me during this exciting period of my life where I'm singing for a living. I'm singing for a cruise ship. It's like amazing. It's unreal. I'm still motivated to post content as I'm recording here backstage of the place I usually sing. I'm glad I brought my setup and I could record some more stuff for you guys while I'm away. I'm still motivated to post content as I love making stupid shit for you lot. There's no telling when the next video will be, but until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care now. Bye bye then. Boom!